and right now we are on our Tech Talk, which is coming up, which is on how to transform during a global pandemic. Well, currently we have with us Sascha Pallenberg, the head of digital transformation, Daimler AG. Well, Sascha is a German tech blogger and a consultant living in Taipei. Sascha was named as one of the next 100 top influencers of the European digital industry in 2013, and also is one of the 2013 top 100 most important Germans online. During 4 consecutive years in 2010 and 2013, Sascha won the top 20 Smart Mobile Device Pundit Award for the most influential bloggers and journalists in the area of mobile computing. So thank you so much, Sascha, for joining us today and being a part of the World Cloud Show. It's incredible having you here, and amongst the influential capacity you carry, I'm sure the delegates will be benefiting. Over to you.
Well, great, and thank you so much for having me. What a weird time it is, huh? Who could have guessed anything like this just about 12 months ago? Not only that we are all coming together through a WebEx meeting, or that we're getting used to Zoom online conferences, or that actually the market cap of a company as Zoom is about twice as high as all US American airlines combined. Imagine this just 12 months ago. I think it's still absolutely mind-blowing and sometimes feels a little bit surreal to me, even though that has nothing to do with surrealism. This is reality right now for us, and we probably have to deal with this for quite a long time. This is not going away. And I remember my last travel to Germany, to our headquarters, where we have our production plants in Germany, in Stuttgart. And I flew back to Taiwan, where I lived for almost 12 years, at the end of February this year. I would have never ever guessed that I would stay here for the next 10 months to come. And I would also have never guessed that in just 2 or 3 weeks from the time of my departure, everything would just change so radically. Germany at that time, and all of Europe, was going into a little bit of a lockdown. I mean, most of you guys probably saw the pictures from northern Italy, the emergency rooms over there. And maybe you don't know about this, but to build cars is quite a global operation. So building a car consists about 3,000 to 5,000 different parts. That means we have a global supplier network. And sometimes you even have global leaders that are building a specific part and maybe only have like 100 or 200 employees, but they're still the global leader for this specific technology and this specific part. And of course, we also had global leaders in these COVID-19 hotspots. And out of a sudden, we had to get into this crisis mode, especially after we had to close down our productions and to figure out what we're about to do, to figure out how we're gonna position ourselves as a global OEM, as a global brand, as a company that's available in over 200 different markets all around the world, and how we're going to push through this. That was quite an interesting experience. That was probably the biggest stress test our company ever faced, at least for the last 7 or 8 decades. And that was obviously also, and that's probably something that all of you guys also faced during this pandemic, a stress test for your IT infrastructure. Never ever did we have as many colleagues in the home office environment as we had during COVID-19. Just to give you an idea about the workforce in Germany, before COVID-19, we had about 4% of the workers working from home. At the peak of COVID-19, with all the limitations, and this is actually something that's going to apply again in Germany next week, it was way over 20%. This has a huge impact on your infrastructure. And as I said, sometimes it's good to have these stress tests. And I wish it wouldn't take a global pandemic for this. But it helped us to see what worked and what didn't work. And of course, we had a few glitches when it comes to this. Very, very kind of simple processes, like what about the bandwidth of your VPNs? How am I going to access our internal IT infrastructure? How I'm getting into the internet? We've never had anything like this before. Excuse me. So that really helped us to see where we had to improve. It helped us to also see what worked. Because once again, to kind of create a more remote work infrastructure, to give colleagues the perspective on what is actually possible by using cloud tools, collaborative platforms. I think that was pretty good for us. It was an eye-opener because not only did we experience that, yes, it was a challenge, but it also helped us to get a lot of data and a lot of insights in what a future environment for remote workers would look like. How a future environment of having 20, maybe 30% of your workforce working from home would impact our infrastructure. And it's not only about this. Now imagine having your core product, which is obviously a Mercedes-Benz car and a luxury product, as something that we've been mainly pushing through retailer networks. Because, I mean, if you're buying something for a six-figure price, you probably want to experience it before. Well, even though that we already gave our customers the options to buy a Mercedes-Benz online since 2016, this still didn't help us during a time where it was all about limiting context, where it was all about social distancing, and where we still need to make sure that we can get our inventory to our customers. So my colleagues at Mercedes-Benz did definitely a couple of amazing things. First of all, what they implemented into our delivery processes was a contactless delivery. So you were able to buy your Mercedes-Benz online, and we would have made sure that we would just deliver it in the most luxurious way, right to your doorsteps, make sure that you're gonna get the keys, and that we can still keep all of the social distancing, and that we can move forward with a contactless delivery. And you know what is so amazing about this process? I mean, when you are used to work in large corporations, when you're used to all these processes that you're thinking about, that you want to implement into your infrastructure and ecosystem, it takes time. But now, during this crisis, a lot of my colleagues experiences what new dynamics, a new momentum could mean to your business. And this is exactly what we did when we came up with a new process like this in just a couple of weeks. Give you another example. We are in a very, very unique position to be one of the car manufacturers that is out there to have a Formula One team. And to give you an idea about the level of engineering and development that is happening in Formula One, I think, you know what, this only gets topped by probably military and space engineering. It is so competitive. Our Formula One team is, as most of the Formula One teams around the world, based in the UK. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but during the springtime in Europe, UK had one of the biggest impact on COVID-19 in all of the European countries. So once again, if you have some of the best engineers in the world, and you also have probably some of the most intelligent persons that are coming up with ideas of how can we support our society in this crisis. Well, they came together, and in just 5 to 6 days, they engineered a breathing aid from scratch and deployed it and distributed it to hospitals in the United Kingdom. Once again, from idea to execution to production to distribution in a week, in just a week. Creating a device that helps saving lives. Here comes the interesting part of it. And this is all about the magic of the cloud, the magic of IT infrastructures. Well, our engineers made the plans for this breathing aid open source, and they uploaded it into the cloud. So far, more than 6,000 authorities, facilities, hospitals, NGOs, all around the world downloaded these plans and are capable of building a device that is going to save lives during COVID-19. Once again, it was possible because of the craftsmanship, of this amazing engineering that was going on, of making quick decisions, of responding to a crisis in a proper way. But to get the word out there, this was a matter of infrastructures. This was a matter of the cloud. And I think this is something that we all face in these days and these months to come. Because as I said at the beginning of my talk, this will go on for a while. Therefore, it is so important for us to use our infrastructures to make sure that they work and to take advantage of it. The true character shows during a crisis. That is a quote from the former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt. Now this is about us, how we get through this crisis, how we use our infrastructures, how we support each other, how we take advantage of this. We have probably the most amazing technology of mankind. It can now be a distribution platform for ideas, for solutions that are saving lives each and every day. And when you look at the numbers, when you look at the daily new infections and the death rates, we all knew how important this is. I think this is a time where we all have to give back to society, where we need to identify how we can contribute, and where we need to use these distribution platforms to get our ideas out there, to support each other, to cheer each other up, and to show what this is all about, helping each other. And I think this is the most wonderful asset, the most wonderful idea we can have about the cloud. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Sascha, for joining us. Well, what a great way of articulating what you said. And I'm sure that all your words is going to be resounding with every delegate of ours. So once again, a big, big thank you, Sascha, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.